What's up, YouTube? I just got my SR400 back out of the shop. Well, I say my SR400, but really it is my fiance's SR400 because I'm giving it to her as her first bike. And I'm about to ride it home. And this is the first time I've ridden this thing in 2 months. They cleaned it. It looks gorgeous. I have a dent in the tank, but a couple burns on the muffler, but you know, battle scars. Gone many miles on this thing. So for the first time, you're seeing this motorcycle from this angle. Oh man, it's so weird where the foot pegs are. This thing has so little power. Feels like I'm riding a dirt bike. Oh, my feet are in such a weird position. Holy smokes. It's weird to be on this bike. Oh, the brakes are so good on it too. Oh, it's so little, it's such a baby. Oh, this bike is such a baby child. Oh my god. How did I ride this? Like, where my feet are, where everything is, it just feels so weird and baby. God. Oh, this is so weird. Man, the rear brake is so grabby. Let me tell you guys, this is a feeling like no other right now. I can't tell you how much I miss this bike. And this is even the tank bag that I had when I went across the country. Across that whole country. This bike has no power. Zero power. Oh man. Oh, it's so windy. Oh right, I forgot there's only 5 gears. Holy smokes, this is so different. Oh my god. This is such a different feeling. Like, I feel like I need to be hunched over so much, and I don't. I totally forgot that on this bike, you really just go full throttle, and you have to really wring it out to get any kind of acceleration out of it. I mean, it's a 400, but it's just an old school thumper. But God, is it comfortable. I could ride on this bike for hours, and I did ride on this bike for hours. Man, this is exciting. Oh God, I love being back on this bike. So, my fiance plans on like cafeing it out. We've already got a really good idea of the style we're gonna go for on it. It's gonna be great. This is awesome. I'm so happy to be on this bike. It definitely takes some getting used to again though. It's like the lack of power is shocking. Hey, there's an R6. Nice move, bud. Oh man, I'm so comfortable. Everything about this bike right now just screams comfort and ease of use. I totally understand how I rode this bike as far as I did, and it's gleaming, just this gorgeous gleaming chrome, and the gears are so short too. Like, you can't just be all over the place like I can on the other one. So this was my first bike, so that's part of why I'm so pumped about it right now. It's like going back to your childhood home, you know. There's something about it that's just like nothing else. It's just so great. It's especially weird because I'm using nothing but the rear brake for the most part, just out of habit. Because on my CBR, the front disc is still all, the front rotors are still all fucked up, and I'm having to baby them and only use the rear brake. So I guess I've just gotten some well-established rear brake habits. My riding ability, though, has improved so much since I got the CBR. Throttle control, brake control, just everything about what I can do with a bike has drastically improved. And I guess that's, you know, that's what happens when you ride a variety of bikes. At this point now, I've owned, well, this one, which is, I guess, your standard street bike. I wouldn't call it a cruiser. My feet are, you know, it's like I'm sitting in a chair. Like, that's my foot position. It's an interesting blend between a crotch rocket, you know, with it being really far back, and I guess a good comparison would be a supermoto maybe, or a dirt bike. This is kind of how it feels in the way that the foot position is. Or really any touring bike, I guess. That's not a cruiser. This helmet, this bike, all of it. This is just pure nostalgia. Nostalgia in its purest form. And the exhaust, I bet you can't even hear the exhaust. I can barely hear the exhaust. That's one of the first things we'll be upgrading. Well, I say that. We'll probably get clip-ons, and then after the clip-ons, we'll get a lot of free play in the throttle. I remember that. Yeah, there's a lot of... We'll probably get clip-ons first, because I think that's what she will prefer. But we'll definitely be getting a new exhaust for it, because it needs something. The muffler, it does a very good job at muffling, I'll say that. As I'm sure you can tell by the lack of exhaust sounds. Hell, maybe I should get one of those fucking Delcovics. Delcovic? That Just in Time has on his bike. That'd be a time on one of these. And honestly, it wouldn't sound bad. I might do that. Alright, there's no electric start. Oh man, yeah, it's definitely not a highway machine. A lot of stuff got replaced on the inside, so I'm trying to keep the RPMs a little low. Which I guess 4,500 is a little high for this bike, but I want to keep it under 4,000 when I'm putting around, but I can't really realistically go on the highway any lower than 50, so 10 under the speed limit is a little out of the ordinary for me. This is so exciting. I guess I'm refamiliarizing myself with the machine, and it makes me very, very happy. I know the power band really starts about 4,000 to 5,000 RPM, so I want to try to fucking wheelie the thing. I don't know if it'll wheelie in first gear or not, but well, I say that immediately after I say I want to take it easy on the bike. That wouldn't quite be taking it easy, but it's just so comfortable. Like, I feel like I could just swing my leg over the side and sit side saddle, and it's so tame, you know? That's what it is. It's comfortable and it's tame. I feel like I can't get hurt on this bike, I guess, is the feeling. It's just so small and safe. And I know that's not at all the case, you know. I know if I crash on this bike, it's going to hurt just as much as you know, a 50-mile-an-hour crash on this bike is going to hurt just as much as a 50-mile-an-hour crash on the Super Sport, or on my sport bike. But I don't know. I guess I've gotten so used to the aggressiveness of a sport bike that, like, it just feels like you're sitting on a giant, like, canister of pressurized rage. You know, that's what a sport bike feels like, versus this is just like you're sitting on like a bottle of water, you know. that's only like compares. That's the most neutral, tame, normal thing I can think of. Which makes me really excited. Like, the fact that I'm on this and I have to work so hard to make it go fast makes me really happy about the fact that it's going to be Miss Crankshaft's first bike. Because it means that she's going to have the opportunity to learn on something that's, you know, she's going to have to work, basically, and she's going to have to develop technical skills to be able to ride this bike and keep up with me on a 600. Of course, I'm not going to be I'm gonna be riding my 600 probably in 6th gear above, you know, 20 miles an hour, so that she'll be able to just keep up with me. Yeah, you gotta wring the hell out of this thing to get any power out of it. Look at it. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at that? I miss this thing so much, guys. You don't even know. I keep thinking there's a fucking start right there, but it's a kickstart only. Fiance's over there throwing her gear on. It's such a baby. It's such a baby bike. Oh man, I can't even find the kickstand on this thing anymore. That's how long it's been. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed your first look at Sarah, my beautiful SR400. She was my first child. Then I had the Virago, who unfortunately you'll never see. And then I got the CBR, who is yet to be named. The Virago, I tentatively named Vicky. But yeah, well, we're about to go for a ride. Check out the parade, tree lighting, all this other awesome Christmas stuff going on. But for now, I'm gonna say, peace out, YouTube.